Hey guys, today for Positive Reincarnation, I wanted to bring to you a universal issue for anyone that is in a relationship. And that is when the honeymoon phase is over and it goes into the routine stage. And that is pretty much the stage that most couples go through and nobody likes to go into. So it's one of those things, and unfortunately, a lot of my clients come to me and say, I love my boyfriend or I love my girlfriend, but we're just fighting constantly all the time, and I don't know if I should end it or not. And I think it's really important, that we kind of take a step back and reassess the situation so that we can actually save our relationships instead of running away from them. So after the honeymoon phase, your intimacy and attention, affection, it all starts to go downhill. So there's a lot less of it. And that right there is enough to frustrate anybody, right? There's also a lot of nagging that tends to start. Nagging and bickering back and forth over the little tiny things. And little tiny, I'm talking about somebody leaves a cup on the coffee table, or their socks are on the couch instead of in the laundry basket. And that's especially for people that live together. Couples out there know that can drive a person crazy. Well, for some people, after they do that for so long, the resentment starts building and building and building. And then they just explode, and it turns out to an all-out, World War III. And so that's definitely that, on top of you're already, stress from outside influences, stress from your job, your car breaks down, your bills are overdue, trouble from your family or your friends, or you name it, all of that on top of the little things going on in your personal relationship, it can equal disaster. And when that happens, compromise and communication, two of the key things in any relationship, goes right out the window. Couples also tend to find that they start calling each other names, things that they wouldn't normally call their significant other. Not only is it really childish, but it's also very hurtful. Even if the first thing that they do is fire back a different name, like you're this, but oh, you're this. Even if they tend to do that, it's still very hurtful. And, people tend to, take it and, get very defensive, which they should, because somebody's calling you a name. But temper tantrums get thrown, and really the whole idea of fighting, especially with your significant other, it's very childish if you think about it. You throw fits, and you have to try and get your way. Another thing too is that you're purposely looking for ways to get out of the house, or you're looking for ways to get away from them. And it's not so much, oh, we're out of milk, let me go to the store. It's like, I'm going to drink the rest of the milk so that I can go to the store. Taking little personal breaks is fine. It's healthy in any relationship. But when you find yourself purposely looking to get away from them, that's when you kind of want to start looking at everything else that's going on in your relationship. So one of the other things that I wanted to mention too was that sometimes, not always, but sometimes, people, when they find that they're purposely looking to get away from their partner, it could lead to cheating. And, people sometimes feel like they are stuck between a rock and a hard place, and there's nothing that they can do, and they're very stressed and frustrated, and so the person would do it to get some kind of a different feeling other than being so stressed and so frustrated and so angry at the person that's at home. So they might go out and look for somebody, somebody different. The problem with all of these things in a relationship, especially, that's saying, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. It's something that a lot of couples fall into. And they love each other. They're just not in love with each other. Or they're in love with each other, but it doesn't feel like it because of all the fighting. What do you do if that happens to you? If you right now look at your relationship while you're watching this video, look at your relationship. If that kind of sounds like you, first thing is to always talk to your partner. Talk to them, see how they're feeling. A lot of clients, they just say, I love my boyfriend or my girlfriend, but we just fight all the time, and I don't know if I should end it or not. So again, talk to your partner. Communication is what's going to have to kind of open up the lines between you guys again. You're going to have to tell each other exactly how you feel, why you feel the way that you do, and what you personally propose to do about it. Nobody wants to be told that they're doing something wrong. So I highly suggest not saying, well, you're the one that always blah, 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 or I'm the one who's always doing this for you, but you never do this. It's very, it's kind of like an attack mode. And so their defenses are going to come up. And so that's when it doesn't turn into a progressive conversation. You want to try and let go of everything else and start at this very moment, or whenever you decide that you're going to talk to them. Maybe kind of take a step back and look at what the other person's been going through. Maybe there's some underlying issues there that you're not, you haven't been realizing, or you haven't really thought of, and maybe that's why they're so stressed and why they're so frustrated. And so by you leaving your dishes on the table, or you leaving your clothes on the couch, or you not taking out the trash, maybe that's just kind of adding to their stress. And so by taking the initiative to really try and figure out and pinpoint where the problems lie, or what the issues actually are, then you can go ahead and start tackling them together. Not really it's one person's fault or it's the other person's fault, but you guys have to start tackling things as a team. It's all about the teamwork. Issues like stress from work, or overdue bills, or car breaking down, like I had mentioned before, it could make all the difference in the world dealing with those things if you have a partner that's right there beside you instead of on the other side of the fence with all of those other problems. And that's where a lot of couples, they tend to go wrong, because all of a sudden they're battling each other and nothing gets solved, because one person always thinks that they're right, or they're just, their intent is to make sure the other person is kind of on a lower level. So it's really, really important to get back on the same team. Help each other figure out what the issues are and battle them together. It'll bring you a lot closer. If you have someone on your team rooting for you, it'll make you feel better, less stress, because now it's kind of balanced instead of you having the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't have to carry it alone. That's probably my initial advice. Of course, there are all kinds of different subtopics with this because of all of the different underlying issues that could possibly be causing, different couples to fight. But in general, that's really what you want to do. And then once you can let go of everything that has happened up until the point that you start talking, make that decision that you, and this is only if both of you want to work it out. Just so you know, because if one person wants to work it out and another person is being really stubborn, it's not going to work. So you want to try and get to where you both want to move forward, let go of everything else, Don't mention anything that happened in the past. Well, you always do this or you always do that. Instead of doing that, well, why don't we see if maybe I'll cook dinner tonight if, and then maybe you can do the dishes. Compromise. And I tell this to every person that comes to me for relationship advice. Compromise. I always feel like I have to do all the cleaning. Or my husband works, so he thinks that I have to do everything else. And then you hear it from the husband's side. Well, I just got home. I don't want to clean the house. I just worked an 11-hour day. Okay, well, nobody wants to clean the house. Nobody wants to do the dishes. But if you guys are a partnership and you do it together, it's going to get done, and then you both can relax and there won't be any problem. So you got to kind of take a step back and look at it from a different angle. And like I said, individuals are going to have separate issues, and that might be something that needs to be a little bit more attentive, given attention to. But in general, get back on the same team, same level playing field, and you guys should be able to let go of every resentment that you guys have and start fresh, start new, start loving each other again. So if you want to go into this further, feel free to message me. If you guys are having this problem, feel free to message me and I will go through, the different issues that are going on with you. As always, my advice is only my advice. You can do what you want with it. But I'm really just trying to help, and hopefully if I can help one person save one relationship, I'm good. So hope you're well. Thanks for watching. Take care.